Hi, everybody. Sam here with wisdom, embodying energy, embracing seasons. And you might have noticed we've got a bit of a change of scene here. I'm in a different part of my home, and I don't have Gabby alongside me in my Zoom screen, which is quite strange. I feel this is slightly unusual. We've decided to switch it up again with wisdom just to make it keep you on your toes because we like to keep our viewers ready and with us. And so, what we've decided to do is that each month, one of us will open up the month with either a reading or a poetry or some kind of provocation for you or some inspiration that will help you into as you enter into that month. We will then have our lovely interviews as we usually do, and then we'll follow up with some creative exercises. So we really hope that you appreciate that we try to switch this up just to keep the energy fresh and new as we go through sharing our work on With Wisdom. But Gabby's still very much around, and you will see her in the next episode. So today I'm opening up July, and July is being one of those months that takes us fully into full summer. And for many of you, you're really feeling the effects of an overly hot summer. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the south or the northern hemisphere, there are aspects of countries which are really feeling that heat. Unusual heat, which is due to climate change. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, it's happened. And so there is something around how do we embrace seasons? How do we keep energized when there is some really difficult things on our horizons and in our life right now? And that's where I'm hoping that some of the things that we do and we share might offer people some hope, some new ways of thinking, some new ideas that might happen. And that's where we are kind of just taking a little shift, but it very much still is around being in with the seasons, being more energetically alive and vital in the work that you do and in the life that you live. So, what's this message about for today? Well, I really wanted to invite you, all the people who join us every time, to think about the kind of world that you would like. And I have a hunch that for many of you, it is not necessarily the world that we have right now. And how do we get there? And we do that through really using our imagination. And we as a species have, or we think we are the only species at the moment that has that ability to think and project into the future. But we have that ability, and we know we have that ability. So let's make the best of it. So I'm going to share with you two books and a poem today, and I hope that you find these interesting. The first book I'm going to share with you today is a book called, oh, I don't think you can see that. It says How to Fall in Love with the Future. And the author is Rob Hopkins, and he also wrote the fabulous book, What Is to What If? And in it, he talks about time traveling, really taking that opportunity to try and time travel, embody and imagine that future perfect place, and then come back and then work towards that. No, it can happen and get to that place. And one of the things I wanted to read you was an article, sorry, a piece of research that was done in 2000, 26 years ago, which talked about, which tracked the ideas that came out of a prison where people have been incarcerated for life or for very long periods of time. And they were asked to do an exercise about imagining the future. And then with their imagination, I'm going to read a little bit from it. It says, whilst their imaginations showed that when they drew the pictures of what they thought would happen, they were very deep. People were deeply moved by what was drawn. Prison walls had melted away, and all the beauties of nature and life of free humans stood revealed. Open countryside, trees, bushes, flowers, distant mountains, lakes, and rivers. Everyone in the picture was friendly, often smiling. People were walking in couples, bicycling, singing, dancing, playing games, working in small groups, fishing by a lake, growing food, offering helping hands to each other. The absence of cars in the pictures were notable. And when I read that piece, I thought, gosh, I think as a teacher many years ago when I worked in schools, if I had asked children to draw pictures of what they would like the world to be, I think they would have drawn very similar things. people laughing, people having fun, people being joyful, lots of flowers, doing the things that they really enjoy, maybe playing football with their friends. So why is it so different for us as adults? And what can we do as we enter the second half of this year to actually enable that world to exist again? So that's something that I'd like to share as we go into the heat of summer. And the second book I want to share is Citizens. It's been written a couple of years ago, John Alexander and Ariane Conrad, and where they discuss the move in history when humans were subjects, consumers, which we are pretty much hopefully leaving now, and moving in the potential for the future to move into being citizens. There's something that I'm quite worried about, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. Is that I do feel sometimes we might be straying back to the past to being subjects, and rather than having the kings and the noble people of the past, we now have the tech lords, and that doesn't sit well with me. I don't want to be ruled, and I don't think many other people want to be ruled by other people. So what is it how could we move to being citizens? Well, we take responsibility for the communities that we live in. And those things can be really small. We're talking about embracing seasons of life. It might be engaging with people of your own age or engaging with people of multi-generational ages. So to create a community around a common theme of a better imagined place, whatever that might be. So, lovely watchers, we would love some comments from you, some ideas of what is it that you would like? What kind of world are you looking for? And that kind of hopefulness, that desire to do well and do different, I think it'd be really lovely to hear your views. You also might know people in your community who are doing great things in a small way. And I think Gabby and I would like to capture some of that because that is about an energetic, positive energy that would be spreading in the world. They may be in far-flung places from where you live right now, but actually just to share the work that they do would be amazing. So a bit like sharing the good news. Our mainstream media always shares the bad news. Let's find and shine a light on some of those good news stories. One of the ways we can do this is by joy spotting. It's a little term that I learned from Ingrid Patel Lee many years ago. And joy spotting is something that I put into my day every day. And that could be from noticing a flower, from watching a bee going from flower to flower, from sitting in the shade of a tree, or just noticing, a particular colour showing up in my life. And it's something that you can train your brain to do. And you can, and it's like looking out rather than looking at the shadows, turn towards the light. And for the last bit of this, I wonder whether I could share a little poem. It came from a book. Again, you can't see because I've sort of got a funny thing on my camera. It says 10 Poems of Hope. And I thought this one was a really beautiful one. The author is Laura Fees, and it's called I Went Out Today Looking for Wonder. Found a wind, 2 ducks, 15 clouds shaped like questions containing their own answer. The way only water can shape-shift itself. I found a tree that had decided to start its spring early, regardless of the general consensus. I found a stick that had made a dog's morning. I found a well-rested sun with a 6-hour workday and a penchant for early nights. Cycling back home on the towpath at nightfall, I startled water rats. The moon was a luminous fingernail, reflected below in the darkness to both sides of my wheels. The flooding had turned the river into a mirror, the meadows into a lake. I wanted to show it to you, each incredible marvel, and say, look, oh look, see how the good world still holds you. So I wonder for you on the 1st of July, if you go out to look for a wonder, what might you see? What might you spy? What might you share? What might you share with us, Gabby and me, in With Wisdom? It's a strawberry moon right now. So maybe this evening, if the video drops today or maybe tomorrow, find the moon and have a look at it and see how much detail you can see in it. Look for the wonders. My name is Sam from With Wisdom. I'm going to sign off here, but I really hope that you look for the joy, look for the wonders in the month of July. Bye-bye.